What's up, everybody? What's up? We're going to have a little word from John, 5th chapter, 1 through 15. Sometime later, Jesus went up to Jerusalem for a feast of the Jews. Now there is in Jerusalem, near the sheep gate, a pool which in Aramaic is called Bethesda, and which is surrounded by 5 covered colonnades. Here a great multitude of disabled people used to lie, the blind, the lame, the paralyzed. One who was there had been an invalid for 38 years. When Jesus saw him laying there, and learned that he had been in this condition for a long time, he asked him, "Do you want to get well?" There's some key words in here, pay attention. "Sir," the invalid replied, "I have no one to help me into the pool when the water is stirred. While I am trying to get in, someone else goes down ahead of me." Then Jesus said to him, "Get up, pick up your mat and walk." At once the man was cured. He picked up his mat and walked. The day on which this took place was a Sabbath. And so the Jews said to the man who had been healed, "It is the Sabbath. The law forbids you to carry your mat." But he replied, "The man who made me well said to me, 'Pick up your mat and walk.'" So they asked him, "Who is this fellow who told you to pick it up and walk?" The man who was healed had no idea who it was, for Jesus had slipped away into the crowd that was there. Later, Jesus found him at the temple and said to him, "See, you are well again. Stop sinning, or something worse may happen to you." The man went away and told the Jews that it was Jesus who had done him well. Now, there are some questions within this. You've been struggling with something. You've been sick, physical, mental, whatever the case may be. And it has gotten you, it has been on you for so long that it has become your normal. You are used to it. It's an everyday occurrence. Even when you see other people around you getting blessed, you keep believing, and it's a good thing. This is a good thing. You keep believing that you're going to eventually get there. It's going to eventually happen for you. But you keep saying, "Man, if I only had some help. If I only had somebody that could put me in when the water is troubled. I don't know what to do. I can't really move. I'm messed up, my legs, and I can't move quick. I can roll a little bit, but as I roll, trying to rock it and trying to get the rolling to get there, somebody else has already beat me to that blessing. So I gotta wait some more." And the thing is about this story, the angel would come once a year. So for 364 days, you're in this condition for 38 years. I'm not doing the math on how many years that is, but you've been in this lame condition for 38 years. And in this 38 years, you have seen all different kind of people around you get better. But your condition hasn't gotten any worse, but it hasn't gotten any better. You're stuck in this spot. There's nothing else for you to do, nowhere to go. And then here comes someone and says, "Don't you want to get well?" Now, of course, you might be a little offended, you might be a little upset, but because of the way this person asked you, "Do you want to get well?" it hits you differently. At least in your spirit, it hits you differently. And you looking at him, you be like, "You know what? This is probably not the first time this question has been asked." But see, you asked this question because there's a purpose behind you asking it. How many people have asked you, don't you want to get better? Don't you want to change your life? And all they were doing was just asking the question. They had no results for you. They had nothing that they could help get you out of your condition. And a lot of them didn't really care that you couldn't get out of your condition. They were just asking just so they have something to talk about. But here Jesus comes up to him and says, do you want to get well? And after he explains to him, he says, every time the water's troubled, I work my way to get, but somebody gets ahead of me because I don't have no help. This is for every person out there that you would keep trying and trying and trying, and you're like, Lord, if I just had some help. Help came. Help is on its way. It may come straight from heaven, or it may be through someone that God uses, but help is on its way. You just have to be willing to receive that help, because a lot of us, it's hard for us to tell people that we're struggling or that we need help or that there's something going on that we can't accomplish it by ourselves, that we struggling with some things. We got some stuff going on, and I'm not really sure how to get out of this, but Lord, you asked me, I explained it to you. You see where I'm at. And then it says, Jesus said to him, pick up your bed, pick up your mat and walk. The thing that has had you stuck, that has had you in a paralyzed position, that has become your new normal, that you have become so accustomed to, pick that thing up and carry it on out of here. Because this is your last day doing this. But here's another interesting thing. Even though it was the Sabbath when this man was healed, those that should have been rejoicing with this man, those that should have been excited that this man who was once lame, laid up, could not move, could not do for himself, instead of them being excited that they saw this man better, in a better condition, all they could think about was the law. It's illegal for you to be carrying your mat. He wasn't worried about the law or anything. He's like, do you know the condition that I've been in? Do you know how long I've been laying here like this? And here's the thing. Y'all walk past me all the time. You all never took the time to even say anything to me. You all were too busy talking about me as you saw me struggling. As you saw me going through all of my changes and all my battles and all my fights. Not once did you ever say, can I help you with it? Here someone comes along that takes the time to not just ask me about my situation, but has a message for me in a place and puts me in a place where I'm better. I'm healed. I'm no longer in that position and in that condition. And all you can think about is it's unlawful for you to be carrying your mat around. We're not going to work. We're not going to rejoice at the fact that you're better, that you can now be a productive part of society again, that your body has regained its strength. So now you can really, get out here and do for yourself. We're not worried about that. We don't worry about the law. But then when they say who did it, he's like, I don't know. I'm not worried about the name of the person. I just know that he was there and he brought me out of my place of discomfort that had become my normal. He brought me out of this place where I was stuck, where I couldn't do for myself. Now I can do for myself. Now I can do for myself and for others. And then Jesus came and he gave him a simple warning. Now that you are better, now that you are no longer stuck in that condition, I want you to remember this very thing. Do not go back into what caused you to be here in the first place. We all know what has gotten us stuck in a certain place. We all know what it was that happened. Maybe it was intentional or unintentional. But now that we know what we know, don't go back into that thing. Don't go back into that place. Because it's not meant for you. It's not where you're supposed to be. The place you're supposed to be is where God is directing and guiding you to. He freed you up out of your normalcy, out of this bound up place, and he gave you freedom. Do not, after you become free, allow yourself to be put back in bondage in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Now, see, the so-called religious leaders, if they'd have had their way, they would have had him be lame for the rest of his life, so they could have an example. See, this is what happens to you when you do wrong. This is what how people do. When you go through something, there's always somebody that will try to use you as a blueprint or a map. So, this is what sin will do to you. This is what being disobedient to God will do. This is what not paying your tithes will do. This is what not going to church on the regular will do for you. This is why all these things happen. But here's the thing. He got healed outside of the church building. He became well in a place where there are others that were lame just like him. But because he was willing to believe the words that were spoken to him, it changed his entire life. There are people that God is sending to you to speak a word over your life. Not only are they speaking a word over your life, but they are willing to stretch out their hand and help you steady yourself on your feet and move out of that place that you're in into a beautiful, beautiful place that is intended for you in the first place. Your current circumstance, the place that you're in right now, do not embrace it as it being all that you will ever be, because it is not true. There is greater coming for you. Trust in what God is telling you. Believe in the words that he has spoken to you and the help that he is sending to you. A change is coming in your life. Hold on. It's going to get better. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Love you and peace.